Okay, so we're going to get started. This is a screencast of the multiple choice section of the patterning unit test. And the first thing you want to be conscious of is which version your test is. So students either wrote versions A or B. So as you're correcting, make sure that you're correcting the correct version. The version number will be listed at the top of your front page of the test. So in question number 1, it's all about repeating patterns. And one thing we were looking for people to be able to do was to identify the core of the pattern. The core of this pattern has 6 terms in it. The core is R, 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 B, G, Y, and that's being repeated over and over and over again. And so, if this is being repeated over and over and over again, the Y will be the 6th term, it will also be the 12th term, it will also be the 18th term and 24th term, and so on. And these are all of the different multiples of 6. If we were to continue this on, you would eventually get up to 48 as well, which is a multiple of 6. So 48, if we were to plug it back into our diagram here, Y is 48. And since Y would be the 48th term, G would be the 47th, and that means that B would be the 46th term. So on version A, the answer would be B, and on version B, the answer is C. Okay, this is version A and B. In question number 2, it's asking you to extend this pattern to the 8th term. So students would have to recognize that each time it drops by 6, it decreases by 6 every time. And so if we were to continue this sequence for 8 terms, decreasing by 6 each time, 73 minus 6, 67 minus 6, 61 minus 6, and then 55 minus 6 is 49. So the answer is 49 on version A. It would be the answer B, and on version B, it would be the answer D. In question 3, we're looking at a geometric pattern, and in stage 1, there's 1 square, in stage 2, there's 5, and in stage 3, there's 9. So this sequence increases by 4 each time. And so it's looking for the 5th, 6th, and 7th stages. So in this case, if we're looking for the 4th, 5th, and 6th stage, we have to keep adding by 4. So we get 13, 17, and 21, which in version A would be C, and in version B is answer B. For question 4, which rule describes this pattern? Well, it starts with 1, but we have to look to see what happens every time. So from 1 to 3, it could be add 2, but from 3 to 9, that doesn't continue. So students hopefully will recognize that this is multiplication because the gap is changing each time. So we're multiplying by 3 each time. If we look at all the choices here, we can find that it's answer B in version A, and in version B, start with 1 and multiply by 3 is also answer B. In question 5, we're looking for the missing term, so students have to recognize what the transformation is first. So from 7 to 14 and from 14 to 28, it's actually doubling. Okay, so it's multiplying by 2 every time. And so if we look at 56, we have to multiply that by 2 as well. So 56 multiplied by 2 is 112. And so that is answer number C in version A, and in version B, it's answer D. Okay, question number 6 is a repeating pattern. The first thing is to look for the core. So down, right, up, left, down, right, up, left. So the core in this sequence has 4, a down arrow, a right arrow, an up arrow, and a left arrow. Since there's 4 in the core, this left arrow is going to be every multiple of 4. So the 4th term, the 8th term, the 12th term, the 16th term, and so on, the 20th, the 24th, and the 28th. Since it's the 28th term, this one's the 28th, the next one would be the 29th, which is the down-facing arrow, and then 30, which is the one we're looking for, which is the arrow facing to the right. So in both versions of the test, that's answer B. In question 7, probably one strategy to do it would be to set up a chart with rows and the number of seats so that students could organize their information. So in row 1, there's 120 seats. In row 2, 134. And in row 3, there's 148 seats. And so if the pattern continues in the same way, it is adding 14 each time. So if we add 14 to this, then we get to 162 in the 4th row. And in the 5th row, we have 176. And then in the 6th row, there's 190 seats. Now, a lot of students circled 190 as the answer, but the key to this question is this word here. It asks for the total number of seats in the arena, which is basically the sum of all of these. So that's what a lot of students made the mistake of. So if we type in these numbers, 120 plus 135 plus 148 plus 162 plus 176 plus 190, then the total number of seats in the arena is going to be 930, which would have been answer C in version A and answer B in version B. For question 8, I'd also suggest doing a T-table to organize information. So this is the paycheck and the amount of money. So in the first paycheck, she gets $1. In the second paycheck, $1.10. In the third paycheck, $1.20, and so on. And so every time she earns another 10 cents, so the 4th paycheck would be $1.30. The 5th one is $1.40. The 6th one is $1.50, and then the 7th is $1.60. Okay, so it goes up by 10 cents every time. And so the answer here, in version A, it's B, and in version B, D. Okay, for question 9, the word is common difference. So common difference is the same thing as the gap between two numbers in the sequence. And in this sequence here, it increases by 6 every time. So the gap is 6. So in version A, the answer is B. In version B, the answer is C. Okay, in this diagram here, each column represents a new term. So this would be term 1, and then we have term 2, and then term 3, we have each of these additions. So there is 3 terms represented by this picture here. So that's the answer C for both versions of the test. Okay, the chart below shows the number of restaurants which are open in the Ottawa region from 2007 to 2010, and it's asking if this pattern continues, how many restaurants would open in 2015? So I'm just going to extend the chart here. Every time you add 10 more, so 140, 150, 160, 170, and 180. So in 2015, you have 180 restaurants opening, and so that's answer D in test version A, and answer B in test version B. Okay, the next one, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th term. So this is the 2nd term, and this is the 3rd term, and this is the 4th term, but we're missing the 1st term. So we're missing the 1st term here, so we have to get it. Now, if you see in each of these, there is a constant of 3. So this is the starting with point. So we will also start with our 3 shaded in. So this pattern starts with 3, and it goes up by 1 every time. So in version A, it's going to be selection B, and in version B, it's going to be the first choice there. Okay, for this last question, Shauna collects coins every day. So once again, I would probably make a T-table to organize it. So I have my day and my number of coins. So she collects 3 coins on day 1. Now the number of coins that she collects each day after that is double. So double this is the same thing as multiplied by 2. So on day 2, she collects 6. And then if we double that, on day 3, she has 12. And day 4, we double 12. And day 5, we double 24. And then on day 6, we double 48. So kids might have used their calculators at this point. 48 times 2 is 96. And so the question is asking, on which day does she collect exactly 96? Well, it's on day 6. So in version A of the test, the answer is B. And in version B of the test, the answer is also B. And so those are the questions for multiple choice that were on the test. And students did really, really well. They should be really proud of the way that they did. And if they have any questions, they can come find Mrs. Hannah or myself in class sometime this week.